Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about gap insurance. Now, gap insurance is something they will suggest to you, even put on your finance documents when you go for a car, whether it's new or used, doesn't matter. They do this in both regards. So, what is it? Is it worth it for you? So, in the multiple cars I've had over the years, every time that one was financed, they went ahead and put gap insurance. And I've heard a whole slew of reasons why this is. So, when I was going through this, of course, I was like, what is gap? And as it was explained to me, and later on I went and confirmed it, what it stands for, literally as the name suggests, is the gap. The gap between what is financed and what the value of the vehicle is. So for instance, you go in and you buy a car that you like, and you go to the finance department because you can't pay it full out. So you come in with your down payment and all that stuff. The car costs $10,000. So you put your two in, and they finance $8,000 of it. And what it is that they put gap insurance on it. And what this is like homeowners insurance for mortgages. It is to protect the bank who is lending you money. It is not to protect you. So you're driving around and you get sideswiped, you get hit really hard, and your car is totaled. And the insurance company comes out and they start assessing the damage, and they're like, okay, it's cost too much to fix this car, so we're going to cash it out, meaning we're just going to take the car from you and pay the people who own it, the bank, not you, what this car is worth by market standards. So they come out, you still owe $8,000 on this car, 10 minus 2 is 8, so they come out and say, okay, we can pay you $6,000. We'll pay the bank $6,000 because that's the value of this car, and you owe $8,000. So what gap insurance does is that it steps in between the 6 and the 8 and pays it off up to the amount that you owe on that loan. Gap insurance is not free, and if you read your finance documents, even if you currently have a vehicle, and check those finance documents, and when you see gap insurance, that stuff is not cheap. So, in all the times I've had it, I've seen it range from anywhere between $250 to over $3,000. And the only one time that it ever came in any handy, I bought a truck, and it was going great. And then a guy ran a red light and smashed into me, and the insurance company did exactly what I told you. They came out and checked on the vehicle. They said, it's going to cost too much to fix this vehicle, we're going to cash it out. So, what happened was, they took the vehicle. The bank got their, $6,000 to keep the numbers I'm using currently, and I still owe 8 or 2 because the 8 is the total, and Gap steps in and covers the rest. But in that situation, and in all situations that I've ever had Gap, had I not purchased the Gap, I wouldn't have owed anything anyway. The Gap cost is based on the vehicle value. So the more valuable that vehicle is, the higher the gap is. So you buy a vehicle and they're charging you $2,000 for the gap, and your vehicle costs $13,000. So if you hadn't purchased gap, it would actually have cost $11,000. And on top of that, this stuff is put on the contract, so it's financed. You're paying insurance on the cost of the gap as well, for the possibility that you might use it. And as you pay down your loan with your monthly payments, the value between what you're owed and the car continually comes down, so that in the case later on, maybe 6 months, 10 months, 2 years later, you do get into an accident, which is still a maybe, it's not a guarantee, then if the gap does step in, it's going to have very, very little to pay on that, and you would have made more money in the first place. So gap is not worth it. In every situation I've ever had it, it was worthless. I mean, the one time it did actually step in, if I had not gotten it in the first place, it still wouldn't have mattered, because I still wouldn't have paid anything, because it just did not actually give enough in any of these circumstances, even the one that I did use it. So all I was doing, again, was just throwing money away. And in finance, they'll give you every reason in the book why you need to buy their extra products. The bank demands it. it's for your own good. What if something happens? Well, what if you get struck by lightning? It could happen, technically. Are you going to buy insurance for lightning? I doubt it. So insurance is marketed to you as a way to help you. They're looking out for your best interests. It's bogus. It's not true. They're looking out for their best interests, and in ultimate circumstances, the bank is getting paid. You're getting paid nothing. So in that situation, when that did happen to me, not only did I lose the vehicle, maybe I didn't have to pay extra on that vehicle in that situation because the gap would have mattered anyway, because it cost enough that it wouldn't have made a difference. But also your down payment is gone because they're not giving it back. So in that situation, I was standing there, no vehicle, no down payment. I was standing there with nothing, and the bank had everything covered. So how was this in my best interest? Well, it wasn't. It wasn't in my best interest at all. And so the only insurance that is mandatory by law is liability insurance. GAP is not required by law. Homeowners insurance is not required by law. And if you're told that the bank demands it, okay, if they're lending you the money, they can demand things from you for sure. But you don't have to use that bank. How about a different bank? And of course, you're going to meet a lot of resistance in finance because they want to get you out of there as soon as possible, with as many tack-ons as possible, because they do get kickbacks from these tack-ons. That's part of their commission, is to sell you as much junk, basically, as they possibly can. But hey, okay, you say the bank demands it. All right, get the banker on the phone. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to ask him straight out. Does the bank actually require this or not? And if the bank requires it, maybe I need to look at a different bank. Do what is in your best interest. Don't be fooled by these advertisements that say you need to buy my product because it's in your best interest. Okay, maybe it might actually help you. Maybe not. Do your research. Check it out. Just don't take it at face value. So, hope this helps somebody. And if you're like me, when I went through this process, watch out those documents. You need to read those documents. Everything has to be listed on them, so protect yourself, and no matter how chatty the person is, take the time to read. It can save you thousands of dollars if you just read a little bit of those documents, especially the really long one, the sales contract. So, have a wonderful day, and go ahead and subscribe down below and hit the bell notification so you see my upcoming videos. I'm doing a whole series of content on everything from loan documentation, insurance options, budgeting, bulk buying, basically anything that has to do with finances in your day-to-day life we will be covering here. And if you want something specific for me to cover sooner rather than later, just go ahead and comment down below what you would like, and I'll work at getting that out for you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.